Welcome back to Actionable Intelligence. I'm Eric Greitens, and I'm really happy to welcome our special guest, Pastor Darrell Scott. Pastor Scott was one of the first African-American pastors to support President Trump in 2016. And he was a key figure in leading other African-American pastors to attend meetings at Trump Tower with then-candidate Donald Trump. He's the author of a new book, Nothing to Lose, Unlikely Allies in the Struggle for a Better Black America. Pastor Scott, really great to have you on with us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me, man. It's always my pleasure.
Hey, my pleasure. So talk with us a little bit, Pastor Scott, about President Trump's achievements on behalf of African Americans. This was a big issue that came up in the last debate.
You know, I like to say now in retrospect, looking at Donald Trump since he first announced his candidacy until now, and I'll say this much regarding his interaction with the Black community. He underpromised and overperformed. He made a statement, which is where I got the title for my book from, when he said, "What do you have to lose by voting for me?" Because during the 2016 campaign, we had the Black community in a collective uproar over the condition that it was in, that we were in. And Donald Trump was saying, well, if the condition is that bad after 8 years of a Black president, what do you have to lose by voting for me? If you guys are saying it's this bad, how much bad can he get? So he underpromised, but he overperformed. And you know what I like? His initiatives were not the result of fulfilled campaign promises. They caught everybody out of the blue. They were amazing and surprising at the same time. Bam, criminal justice reform. Bam, prison reform. Bam, urban revitalization initiatives. Bam, opportunity zones. Then he did some ceremonial initiatives, such as designating Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthplace as a national landmark, pardoning the first Black heavyweight champion posthumously in Jack Johnson. Then he comes right back again. Boom, now we have the opportunity zones and the platinum plan. He's just been doing it again and again and again and again and again. He's closing his detractors' mouths. He's doing a great job when other people are trying to take credit for it. But once again, you had historic low levels of unemployment in the African-American community. You saw him do historic levels of funding for HBCUs. These are things that our prior president could have done but didn't do. But this president, like I said, he underpromised, he overdelivered. He's been the most proactive president regarding the Black community that I know of in my lifetime. And it's a very, very pleasant surprise.
It's a long history of achievements. And for all of our viewers, HBCUs are historically Black colleges and universities. The president has had a lot of presidents of those historically Black colleges and universities with him in the Oval Office, and he's made some really historic strides there. Now, Pastor, one of the things that you've always done, which I really appreciate, is you always kind of step back and take a wider historical view. Try and, if you can, for our viewers, put what you believe to be President Trump's achievements in the context of history as you look back over other presidents in the past generation.
Well, I was born in Eisenhower's administration, so Donald Trump is the 12th president that I've lived under. And to me, once again, he's been the most proactive president regarding the Black community. And the reason I say that is this. When I say proactive, I'm saying that his initiatives were not birthed out of social unrest, political pressure. We had Lyndon Johnson, who reluctantly signed the Civil Rights Bill, but it was the result of political pressure and social upheaval, social unrest. But you see, President Trump's initiatives were not the result of that. They were proactive rather than reactive. So in that particular context, I would say that he's been more favorable toward the Black community than any other president since the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, Pastor, ever since we gained citizenship status, he's been more proactive towards the Black community than any other president that I can think of.
Very good. And now a lot of people disagree with that. One of them is Vice President Biden. I want to play a little clip for you and get your reaction to what Vice President Biden says right here.
America was an idea, an idea. We hold these truths to be self-evident. We've never lived up to it, but we've never walked away from it before. And I just think we have to be more honest and let our kids know as we raise them what actually did happen. Acknowledge our mistakes so we don't repeat.
So Pastor Scott, what's your reaction to Vice President Biden being critical of the president's record, especially with African Americans?
Joe Biden needs to shut up about anybody's record concerning African Americans. You know, he's been one of the main antagonists towards the black community throughout his Senate career, going back decades. You know, here's a guy, you know, when they asked President Trump about disavowing and condemning white supremacy, Joe Biden is the one they need to talk to, because he had known friendships and associations with high-ranking members of the Ku Klux Klan and noted segregationists. You're talking about a guy who said he didn't want his children to grow up in a racial jungle with blacks. You're talking about a guy that was the architect of that crime bill that disproportionately incarcerated black men and decimated the black community and the family structure of the black community. You know, it just goes back decades with him. It goes back weeks and months with him. He said the reason he was able to survive in the basement was because of the black women that stocked the shelf. He said, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. He has a long history of antagonism towards the black community. He called us predators that need to be taken off the streets. Conversely, with Donald Trump, they painted this nightmare scenario back in 2016. Oh my God, if Trump is elected, we're going to be, slavery is coming back. We're going back into slavery. We're going to all be shipped back to Africa. But the black community, the lives of the members of the black community have been enhanced because of Donald Trump's presidency. It hasn't been harmed in any way, form, or fashion. And so I say that to my fellow members of the black community. Your life is better under a Donald Trump presidency than it was under a Barack Obama presidency. And it's not going to get worse. It's going to get even better if we continue with the initiatives that he's endeavoring to advance right now. But Joe Biden is a big hypocrite. Flip-flop Joe. He flip-flops on everything. He'll sit there and say something one day and the next day say he never said it. Maybe he doesn't remember that he said it, but it's on tape, Joe. We got you on record.
No, Pastor Scott, very briefly, we've only got about 20 seconds left. I have to guess and imagine that for you, right, you are always a lightning rod for criticism because you've been willing to courageously stand up, talk about what you believe and what you believe is best for the African-American community. Talk a little bit about how you've survived those attacks from the mainstream media and others.
But you know what? Most of my attacks came from the black community. And as a result of President Trump's positive initiatives, the attacks have less. I rarely get them anymore. I don't get the derogatory racial slurs that I used to wake up to every day. I don't get the different things, the names that they were calling me because of the positive achievements of President Trump. Well, in 2016, I pointed forward. In 2020, I can point backward.
Awesome. Folks, the book is Nothing to Lose, Unlikely Allies in the Struggle for a Better Black America. Stay right with us.